Hey there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for the Just Nick cut file shop. This is heart background number 6 that I'm going to use today. So I've cut this from cardstock. I've got a silhouette. I'm peeling the mat off from the back to try and keep the cardstock flat. I'm trying to keep the cardstock flat because I'm actually going to use it as a stencil. So I've just stuck the background pattern paper to my glass mat. It's from 49 and Market ARToptions Avesta. So I'm now just using a bit of washi tape to put the stencil over the top of the pattern paper because I want to keep it as flat as possible. So I don't know whether you've used cut files like this before. I think it's a really good way of using cut files, just to use them slightly differently. Now I'm coming in now with some it's called embossing paste, or it's like a texture paste, and this one actually dries clear. Now it's taking a little bit more paste than normal because it's actually being absorbed by the cut file itself. Obviously if this was a plastic stencil then it would just slide over the top, so I am using a little bit more product than I normally would just because it's going over the paper of the cut file. But I'm just using it's like a rubber tipped paintbrush that's quite wide. It's about 1.5 inches, I think, just to actually literally squeegee this translucent paste over the top of this cut file. So I'm just going to lift the edges of the cut file. I'm not going to take the tape off all sides, just off 3, so I can lift it up and have a quick look, because it's clear, obviously that makes it a little bit harder to apply, and I just want to make sure that it looks okay. So a couple of bits just need a little bit of tweaking, and when I'm happy I take it off and I leave that to dry. So this is the range I was talking about, 49 and Market ARToptions Avesta. So this is the following day. I've left this to dry overnight and you can see like this shiny feel. This is a picture of my daughter the day after she was born. It's a good few years ago now, but I felt that the colours went really well with this range. So I'm just starting to use some of the ephemera and die cuts to build up just across the page. I don't want to cover lots of the background paper because these hearts have got a really nice textured feel to them. It's as I say that, I'm actually touching the layout. You can feel the raised edges. Even though it was only cardstock and it wasn't very thick, it actually has left quite a good pattern on that background paper. You can't see it there either, but it's actually slightly shiny. Hopefully near the end you'll see that those hearts are actually a little bit shiny. So I'm coming in with shades of pink and green, and I think I bring a deeper red in as well. And I'm aiming to just build a large embellishment cluster going across in landscape form. So I'm just going through some of the bits and pieces. That's one of my favourite parts of any layout, is going through what's left. I'm looking at mainly at the ephemera, as I say. I may bring in some pattern paper as I go. I've also brought in some extra bits and pieces. They may not get used, but I do like just to have a look at the bits and pieces I've got in my stash to see if I can add any bits to the collection. The title there says Baby. It's a 3D printed word by Sheenanigans, a UK embellishment company that I run. So there'll be a couple more embellishments from there as well. I'll leave the link in the words underneath if you're interested in having a look. I'm only a little shop. I really wanted to use that piece of die cut lace, and I've tried it in a couple of positions, but it doesn't make the final cut. I will be saving that for something special, no doubt. Just having a look at some tags. So this isn't the first layout I've made with this collection, and I've still got loads left. So it's I haven't got all of any bits, if that makes sense. So I'm just seeing what would work. These die cuts are really nice. They're quite thick in depth, but actually quite fine, particularly some of the leaves and plant bits. And I've popped out some of the flowers from them to use as well. They've got some nice words and titles. So it's just getting it looking right for me, going across the page. I've had a break and I've looked in a bag of bits that are odds and sods. I have these little pouches and I put things in there by colour. So at the end of a range, if there's any bits left, I don't like to get rid of them, so I actually store them like literally for a rainy day. So this is a mass of bits that are from literally every collection you can think of, but they're there to be used when I'm looking for something else. So I've gone to that just to add some bits to this 49 and Market collection. So I'm just tweaking things a little bit, just trying to make sure. I want to do some little clusters within this big cluster really. So I'm just having a look what would work and what wouldn't. I'm also aware that I'd like to repeat myself. So there's a flower at either side at the moment. I'm now looking at adding a couple of buttons as well. I know that odd numbers sometimes are better, so if I can I will try that. But otherwise I'm just looking at getting the clusters together with some odd numbers, and just so it draws your eye around the page. I don't know how you feel about using things that aren't from a collection, or whether you prefer just once you've got a collection open that to stick with it, or whether you do add other bits and pieces. Let me know in the comments below. So this is all stuck down now. Can you see the shine on that? I'm really pleased with how that's looking. So do check out the cut files at Just Nick. This is, as I say, Heart Background 6. Check out Sheenanigans as well. I'll leave the links for that below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.